my sincere, heartfelt pranams and namaskarams to our beloved Guru, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, and the divine feminine consciousness of Patri Garu, Srimati Swarnamala Patri Madam. I'm really indebted to both of them for providing a very easy way of meditating Anapanasati, which means observe the inhale and exhale of breath, by which a lot of souls are getting the spiritual knowledge and immensely getting more and more experiences through this meditation. Good morning to all the beautiful souls out there. This is a very great moment for me to share my experiences after joining the pyramid meditation. I am Doni Raghadipti. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America. For the past 1 year almost, since the lockdown has started, I have joined this meditation and I have been experiencing amazing joy and beautiful experiences are occurring every single moment when I sit in the meditation. To give a brief about myself, I work as a senior application development manager at a professional services company, which is situated in Atlanta as well. I'm staying with my husband. That's all in my family right now at Atlanta. Last year, I had a small incident where I got pregnant, and it was my first pregnant after 6 years of marriage. But the soul left the body during the 37th week of my pregnancy, just before a week before delivery. I was in a very depressed state then. But then I don't know how I had to overcome that and move on. Still, the emotions were applied to me as blockages and are being carried away forever and ever. I was searching for happiness because the soul left from me. I was immensely in love with that soul, immensely connected with that soul. I couldn't even realize when the soul was communicating with me that she wanted to leave the body because I didn't have that knowledge then. But that was my turning point. That was an indication from the universe to me saying that, hey, you have a better path. You have a better life than this one. So, this is the moment where you have to switch gears and instead of being materialistic, just move on to the spiritual life. You need to learn this soul knowledge. You need to improve your spiritual knowledge and come to a different path. Since childhood, I was a happy soul though I was an unwanted child, like in families back at India, they feel like they need to have the first child as a son, but I was born as a girl, so there was some disturbances at my family, but still it didn't bother me. I was raised as a boy rather than a girl. I was a tomboy since beginning, since my childhood, and I used to accompany my grandmother, my father's mom, everywhere, wherever she go. She used to stay with us, and then she is into this. She was into this meditation when I was born, when before I was born, and my all my paternal aunts, they were into this meditation, and my mom also into this meditation, but she was not a regular meditator. So they take some mantra from one of the guru and follow the guidelines of the guru how to do the meditation. And I used to accompany my grandmother even to the cemeteries during Paurnami, full moon, and even the new moon days as well. It is kind of like a festival to my grandmom when the full moon days happen during the month. So she used to be very happy during those days, and she used to take me to the cemeteries, and we used to sit together there, yeah, with the all other people there, which now we call it as Sajjana Sangatya, and share a lot of wisdom and knowledge. I was 5 then, but still I didn't understand what they've been talking. And whenever the buzzwords like Atma, Sukshmayanam, I have no clue about all those things. And when I asked my grandmom about that, she always used to say that when you grow up, you will learn, you will understand. But since then, I had a curiosity saying that, hey, what is this soul and what is this, knowledge and all of that, what they've been talking about and all. My grandmom, because she was an illiterate, she couldn't read the books. So, as a part of our Swadhyayam, they are also supposed to read more and more books. So when I started learning, like, my education, so I helped my grandmom reading those books and trying to understand what it is there. But still, she never used to explain me the internal and inner knowledge behind each and every word. She always used to say that when you grow up, you will learn. My mother, just because I was being very addictive to those books and sharing those knowledge with my grandmom, she was like very scared, thinking that I would become a sannyasini, and then I would not belong to this materialistic life. So she insisted not for me not to go along with my grandmom to the cemeteries and all. That's how my spiritual journey, I would say, the so-called spiritual journey, took a break at that particular age. And then I was just being a normal child, and then moved on with my teens and all. But still, the thirst behind the spiritual knowledge was still existing within me. The only thing which I know is just to love people. I don't even know whether they are cunning or whether they are clever or whether they're smart or something like that. I never used to think that a person who comes and talk to me had a bad intention. I never used to say that this is a bad soul or he's a bad person. I don't like to be gossiped, and I don't like to gossip. I don't like to talk about others. I never used to think that a person could be a bad person. So that is how I have been raised, and I have been nurtured my character like that. And then my father is a very motivational speaker, and he was the one who sowed the seed within me, like how to be very strong and how to be more independent in stuff like being on emotionally or physically or financially dependent on somebody. My mom always wanted me to be a financially independent child, so they gave me a very good education. I finished my engineering. Always I was a top scorer in my education, and I've completed the Rastrabhasha or the Pravina Hindi during my 8th grade itself. I didn't know what was the purpose then, but I just got an opportunity, so I read that. So I know the difficulties of how to raise a child. I have experienced that by looking at my father and my mother. So I know how hard work means a lot thing. Later on, when I moved on and when I started earning myself, I was never into like, okay, I have to be financially settled. So in 2008, I moved to United States on a work related thing. And since then, I've been settled down here. In 2012, I got my partner, my soulmate. I got married to him. And then I moved to Atlanta here. So we were, even then, it's kind of like a regular materialistic life, running behind money and running behind work and all of that. I was a workaholic since beginning, and still I am a workaholic. I love to work, love to work. I don't want to keep my brain calm, which is a positive and also a negative to me. But then it was something like I would relieve my stress when I am more involved in work. And the best compliment what I have got is like I give my best output when I am under stress, which I'm not sure if it is a positive or negative to me, but and then compliments are always very good to hear, right? So then my life moved on, and we were trying to become pregnant. And in 2013, I've been diagnosed with diabetes type 1, and then I've been injecting insulin since then, due to my work stress or anything, whatever it could be, my eating habits or anything. So 2018, I got my first pregnancy. In 2019, February 14th, I lost my soul, my baby soul. So 2019 was an year where I have failed as a mother, but I've been successful as a career-oriented person. But still, that success did not give me any happiness. I indulged myself looking for more and more opportunities and trying to explore more and more things to make myself more happier. But I didn't realize that there is an inner soul within me which also needs happiness. It's not only my physical body. My mind was never calm then, and I was more distressed. And even though I've become very strong, I was able to accept it. But the thing is, like, the blocks which I have created within me have never been cleared out. So I could not face my family. I could not cry in front of them, thinking that if I cry, they would also cry along with me, and I don't want anybody to be sad just because of me. So that's how I suppressed my grief, my happiness, or all the emotions. That's how I used to suppress. But they have become big blocks for me, and sometimes because of the hormones or anything, they used to explode out. So that's where I used to become like more crazier. Then in 2020 January, Suchitra Garu from Houston, she is a cousin of my best friend. We know each other for the past 4 or 5 years, and she knew that the situation which I'm going through, and she wanted to bring me up into this meditation. And the moment I heard about the word meditation, I was like, I jumped somehow. I don't know why. I was like, okay, Akka, I'll definitely come into this meditation because I want to calm down myself, because this is not the way which I am being happy. So it was like a magic which went on. It was all the things, like the divine plan was very ready, put together on a very Sunday when she called me for the first time about the meditation. She called me like around 11:30 in the morning, and by 5 p.m. in the evening, I was in a pyramid and doing the meditation. That is how everything got interconnected, because that's what they say: when you are ready, your guru or your master will come searching for you with the divine plan ahead of you. So everything is ready from the universe, and it's all like I was ready at that particular point of time. So the very first day when I sat in a pyramid and started doing the meditation, it took out all the grief and sorrow from me. It I just felt like somebody had taken everything out of my body. I felt very light and my brain was calm for the first time. For the very first time. It was very calm. I enjoyed the first 1 hour of meditation and I didn't want to leave it. So that entire week, in fact, I think it was in February or January, I roamed around all the pyramid houses here in Atlanta. So they used to do the meditation classes once in a day throughout the week, in once in every house. So I went to each and every master's house and did the meditation sitting in a pyramid. It gave me immense happiness. I don't know why. It gave me very immense happiness. And I was calming myself pretty much down, slowing down myself and becoming more and more composed. And in March, we got the lockdown started. That is when the doors for for my happiness has started opening up. I heard about Parinta Patri ma'am conducting the Zoom classes every Saturday. I joined them, and it was my great privilege to know about Parinita madam, and the way how she speaks and the way how she motivates you to do the meditation. It reminded me my father, and it reminded me my grandmother as well. And that is when I remembered the questions whatever I had since I was a child while I was with my grandmother. So I wanted somebody to tell me what is soul and what is all of thing. And I read the books like Ramana Maharshi's Who Am I and all of that when I was a child, but I never understood that. So I wanted someone to make me understand who am I, and from there what was my life purpose and all. The intention behind Suchitraka bringing me into meditation was to just to know what was the reason behind my child leaving the body. But I never wanted that, because I knew she communicated to me. I knew that she was leaving, but then I was not pretty much serious about it. But then one day in meditation, while I was in meditation, I could see my child, because I saw her the physical form before she left the body. So I could see my child and I could talk to her. She spoke with me and she said, "This is all a divine plan, and this is how you have designed your life and came over here. And I wanted you to become a more spiritual person and learn and quench your thirst of the spiritual knowledge. That is when I want to come back." That is what she told me, and she left. And I was happy with that, because I got my answer why she left. So I wanted to understand, who am I? Am I a soul, or am I this physical body? Am I this Deepti, or am I somebody else? I wanted to understand that. So I was like sitting in the meditation one day and I was like, is there somebody who can help me understand the reality? What is the spiritual reality and all? The very next moment I heard about Brahma Vidvarishta Padmajaka Madam classes talking about Lalita Sahasranama Advaitartham. I used to be a great devotee of Lalita Sahasrana, Lalita Amma, Shiva, and all of the god deities. I used to do regular prayers every day. My day starts with the prayer, like lighting a lamp in my puja room, and then I start the rest of my day. That is how I used to be. And then every Friday I read Lalita Sahasranamam, and I have learned Lalita Sahasranamam from my maternal aunts, and I used to read along with them, compete with them, and all. I never had any experiences, but whenever I was told that whenever you chant Lalita Sahasranamam, you should observe in such a way that the Lalita Amma should come in front of you and she should dance to your tunes the way how you sing. That is what I've been told. And I was just told that you have to carry that kumkum along in your hand. That's it. For the first time in my life, when I joined Amma's Padma Amma, I call her Amma. So when I first for the first time when I joined Padma Amma's meditation classes, talking about Lalita Sahasranama Advaitatam, within a week I was doing the meditation and I was chanting Lalita Sahasranama. So the first reality was I could when I closed my eyes, I could see Lalita Devi's picture right sitting right in front of me. I was scanning her from the feet to the body. And when I saw her face, I could see my face in her. I was like it gave me immense happiness. I was so happy. I was so excited. So it was really, I mean, the craziest part, I guess. On that day I felt more happy and I felt like some love has spilled in my heart. And I told my husband, and he was like, okay, because he never know. And then on the same day in the evening, I spoke with Amma, Padma Amma, and I told her, like, Amma, this has happened. That is when she said, that is your soul darshan, that is your Atma darshan, and what you did. And that is when every single day I never missed Padma Amma's classes. And I started getting answers to my questions. Like, who am I? I'm not this body. I'm not this, whatever we are seeing. I'm not Deepti. I am a part of this cosmic energy, cosmic universe, who wanted to experience the way I'm leading my life. That is what I have learned from those Lalita Sahasranama classes. Gave me a really immense pleasure, and the way the whatever I think I got to understand that whatever I have learned so far, like being the materialistic education or being the materialistic work which I've been doing, there was a purpose for that one. That is what which made me to help or to come up with the execution plan of Lalita Sahasranama Advaita, the YouTube project, which was really a tremendous success. It gave me immense pleasure to add my energies along with throughout the project. So I even then my thirst has not stopped. It's kind of like, okay, I got the knowledge, but it's kind of like I'm not satisfied with the amount of the knowledge which I've got. And again, I sat in meditation, and that is when I got a message saying that your knowledge will increase when you share it with others. Your wisdom will increase when you share it with others. And there is a light within you. You know that it was your light, but it will be a pure brightness of the light only when you lit other lights as well. Because you are a candle, the candle can only give the amount of light with the entire candle. There are other candles. That is when you lit the entire candle, that is when the entire place will glow. This was a message I have got, and I was like looking for a better platform. I've joined other classes as well, which Mahadrashta team has conducted for divine pregnancy, and that is when I've learned like what is the soul plan. How do you conceive babies, and how do you invite those souls into this world? It helped me a lot about talking about the divine pregnancy, like dhyana matrutvam and all of that. But still, the knowledge has not, my quench for the knowledge has not stopped. That's when I was looking for a platform where I could share the amount of knowledge what I've got. And that is when I have got to know about Pranahita Madam conducting the Devi Navratri sessions. They are looking for some volunteers who can help them with the technical work. And by all means, I don't know from where I got the thought. And I was like, okay, ma'am, I'm ready. That's when I started. And that was a beautiful, beautiful platform to connect with all the feminine consciousness in the world. For the earth ascension, whatever we are doing right now, this divine feminine consciousness is a must. So it gave me immense happiness and it filled me so much love when I share the knowledge about the female consciousness. The way how people are receiving it, the way how the love and support they provide, it is really, really making me feel more and more happy. And after Devi Navratri sessions, we did like 9 days, 24 hours Akhanda Dhyanam, which all of us have done it a very great job there. From there, after that, I have got some message from the meditation saying that you should conduct some Brahma Muhurta Dhyanam, which is from 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I told Pranahita madam, and she was so excited to hear that. And we started doing that. And today is like 40th day of Brahma Muhurta Dhyanam since we have started. Same thing has continued for the Kartik Masam as well. And it is like a huge, huge, huge success. Everybody started following us and it was tremendously growing. So this is how my spiritual journey has started. And while sharing the knowledge, I am learning new things like how to share the knowledge. In a sense, like there are multiple ways. I can tell like, okay, you're a soul. People will never understand what do you mean by a soul. Then you have to explore it more further. Like you never know the knowledge level of each soul, right? That is what we have learned about in the Atmayanam. You never know what how much knowledge they have got or what is the level of knowledge they have got. So it is always good to tell them as if you are telling a child, you're telling a 3-year kid or a 4-year kid. So I had to tweak the way of teaching in such a way that I'm telling to a 3-year-old kid. That made my life more easier, and that made the other listeners also to understand it and to get connected more better. So that is the thing which is happening right now, and I am being very calm and composed, and there is a lot of changes with throughout my harmonial level, and also the chemistry between my family has changed a lot, which is really really working out well. And also there were a lot of changes actually, in the sense like I was a very crankiest kid since the day one when I was born. I guess that's what my mom told. Like even if I could not sleep for more than 8 hours, like or for 8 hours, I used to be the most crankiest person on the earth. My husband also knows that. But now I just sleep only for 2 hours. That's all I do because I understood the reality behind it. Sleep is only needed for to calm down your senses of your body, and 2 hours sleep is more than enough. And the rest, I just organize myself in such a way that I at least make sure that I meditate for 3 to 4 hours every day, and then I spend such certain amount of time to my work, and I spend the rest of the time working for this spiritual things. And recently we have launched Pyramid Health Channel Malaysia. We help them a lot along with the Mahadrashta technical support team, and we are doing the 21 day 21 doctors spiritual retreat program right now, which is also getting a tremendous response from all over the world. So this is my spiritual journey so far, and out of all this, the most happiest thing what I feel, or what I it makes me more pleasure or more happier, is when I hear about the stories. People say that, ma'am, we were like this, and when we hear your sessions, this is how we transformed ourselves. It gives a very lot of warmth feeling, like, okay, there is at least one person or somebody who is getting benefited with what we are teaching, who is improving their soul knowledge and trying to step ahead. And the love energies whatever they have been spreading to me is really overwhelming. And that is where I always say is that I am I'm indebtedly bowing, surrendering myself to all the love whatever you provide. So again, మీ అందరి ప్రేమకి దాసోహం. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, I'm really very thankful from the bottom of my heart for Mahila Dhyana Mahachakram 2 for giving me this opportunity by PMC English channel. Thank you so much. Signing off, Deepti Annam. Bye.